So if you ask me about whether I do see any trends in entrepreneurship, particularly as they pertain to the participants, I would say in my class, I do see a lot more social ventures. So we do see a much more engaged exchange between what we can do in terms of making money and versus what we're actually giving back to society at large. So what we classically call the triple bottom line. In my first classes of entrepreneurship, I think I cannot recall a single social entrepreneurial venture. I already know that we have probably a good handful again in this semester. And we've had prominent examples coming out of this institution like Kitro, who do a startup on food waste reduction. And we have students working on plastic reduction here in-house. So in that sense, the social venture, ecologically conscious approaches are very, very prominent in the choices made. We are looking at EHL, obviously, at an extremely international environment. So it's not representative for most academic institutions or even, let's say, geographic areas. That is a benefit because we bring a lot of different thought processes and perspective together, which I believe is a very good breeding ground for innovations, because if you are open-minded enough to allow to have a different opinion at the table and then make even the effort to put yourself in their shoes, it can create the sweet spot where you find something that we haven't thought of before because it needed these people particularly at the table to come together. We do unfortunately still see that many of the structures in place have to yet play to more women in the entrepreneurial field. There is a recent famous study by Harvard showcasing that when women, as opposed to male teams, go in front of venture capitalists, the questions posed to the men end up being about progress, growth, performance, while the questions that are posed to the ladies are, what's your plan B? What's your risk hedging? So a much more negatively connotated set of questions that are in fact placed, which changes the conversation that you're having and obviously also the flavor of whether you're getting the money or not. This is just one prominent example because it recently was also published. Otherwise, obviously, women and men, quite frankly, from where I stand, are just two genders. I don't care whether you're a man or a woman. If you have a great idea and you know how to make the rubber hit the road, then I think your gender shouldn't really matter. If we all can get a little bit closer to that, then I guess we're going to reap many more benefits, because there are ample studies in innovation that showcase that the strongest teams are those that are built for male and females together. Neither one alone brings the full-fledged benefit to the table because we think markedly different, and you need both sides to get the best results. It's an entrepreneurial mindset. That's the one thing that I would probably say. In Europe, we can all learn from having a higher appreciation for failure. Failure is an endemic to innovation, entrepreneurship, and learning. We cannot do any of this without failing. But if we're stigmatizing anybody who ever really tried something and failed, then you're taking the motivation to really push the envelope and go the extra mile. So if government really wants to help overall to a better working ecosystem, we have to also encourage failure.